It was November 25th of 1987 when two young boys came across a garbage bag in a parking lot in Calgary. Inside the bag, a baby who became known as Baby Mary. Baby Mary was adopted to a family who eventually moved to Kelowna. Sitting with me, Tiana, Baby Mary. What was it like growing up when you finally knew the history of who you were and who you are?
I always knew I was adopted, so when I finally found out that piece of information, I was only 12 at the time. I was young. I don't think I really understood the full meaning of what abandoned meant, so I went to school the next day and I thought I was the coolest kid in the world. I thought, oh guys, guess what? I was found in a garbage bag. It didn't hit me until I was about 16 or 17, and then finally I kind of figured out what that meant. Felt hurt, little anger, and then finally when I turned 20, I went, you know what? I have no reason to be mad. I have a great family. My mom and dad, Mike and Teresa, are amazing. So I just kind of, I don't want to say I got over it, but I just kind of let it be. Just roll with it.
Now, the reason we're here talking about your story is you've gone on Facebook under your name that they gave you when you were first found, Mary
Yes.
Olympia Doe.
Yes.
Looking for your birth mom. How's the search going?
So far, nothing much yet, unfortunately. I am getting a lot of positive comments and stuff like that, so that's great. But as for the search of my birth parents, I've got nothing yet.
You're looking for mom and dad?
Mom and dad, yes, yes.
Now, have you played this out in your mind at the time when you do connect with one or both? What are you going to say? What's the first thing you want to ask?
Well, I think definitely why. That's the biggest question. Why this way? Why not a different way? I think that's the big question. Why? That's the first thing. Maybe hi first,
Yeah.
but definitely why, and kind of go from there.
I'm sure you've played theories in your mind.
Oh,
or-
definitely. I try not to as much as I can, but it's hard not to. It's hard to not think, okay, what if I do meet them? What if? But I try not to because I don't want to get my hopes up.
Oh, okay. Going back to that day when you were found by the two young boys, understand that you have since met those two individuals.
Yes, yes.
What was that like?
Man, gosh, that was crazy. I met them separately. The first one, Blaine, I met, I think it was 2012 because it was the year I got married. And I actually really wanted him to be a part of my wedding, but I didn't want to meet him at my wedding. So, because it's already an emotional day as it is, so I thought, let's take the moment before. My husband was there, I got my mom and dad, we were living in Alberta at the time. I flew my mom and dad down, and it was unreal. I mean, this guy saved my life. So it was unreal to meet him. I met Warren a couple years later, and again, that same unreal feeling. Like, how do you say thank you to two guys who saved your life? It's crazy. I don't even know how to explain the feelings because it was so unreal and so surreal that this was actually happening.
Have you had a chance to meet any of the nurses or the doctors that took care of you in the hospital?
No, I haven't, but I've touched base. One of them reached out to me on Facebook once and said, I was actually one of the nurses that got to hold you when you first came to the hospital. So that was kind of neat, but as for meeting them in person, I haven't yet.
Do you know what your condition was like at the time? Like, were you, was this a situation where the boys found you in the nick of time, so to speak? Or?
As far as I know, I think the doctor said that if it was another hour or so, maybe we wouldn't be here today. But yeah, other than that, the toxology reports came back clean. There was nothing in my system at all as for drugs or alcohol, just a little cold.
Is this a nervous time right now as you're reaching out looking for mom and dad?
No. I feel really calm and content with it. I mean, I've tried this before. This isn't the first time. So I think I'm just, it's my story, it's my life, it's who I am. So I'm just I'm a very let it be, mellow person. So it's just it's another day for me.
Are you getting noticed on the street a little bit more now that the story's out there and people know what you look like?
No, not yet. No.
Well, we'll try and change that for you.
No, I'm just kidding. No, nothing yet. My husband, of course, thought, "Oh my gosh, do you think you're going to get recognized?" And I work at a school, so of course, when I went to school on Monday, one of the news places ran the story, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, Miss Tiana, was that you on the news?" I'm like, "Yes, it was me." So as for my students recognize me, that's about it so far.
What do you teach?
I'm a teacher assistant, so I'm in math, I'm in English, I'm all over the place.
What age?
Anywhere from kindergarten to grade 12.
Now, have you explained to some of your students what when they say, "Hey, we saw you on the news," what's going on?
Yeah, I kind of briefly explain it to them, especially to, it was more the 4-5s. They're kind of at that age where they kind of understand, but I don't really tell them the full details. I just kind of say, "Yeah, left in a parking lot," and they're like, "What? That's crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's who I am. It's no big deal." And even one of my students today said, "You're so nonchalant about it." I'm like, "Yeah, it's just, I've lived with it all my life, so it's just part of me."
It's what you know.
Exactly, it's all I know, right? So to them, though, it's so unreal.
Well, Tiana, good luck in your search.
Thank you.
Please keep us up to date because we'd love to know what happens as we move forward.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Tiana, Baby Mary, I'm Wayne Moore for Castanet News.